everyone, Ladies Offroad Network, and welcome to Live at 5 on Tuesday Topics. Wow, do we have a lot to talk about, a long list of goodness, and excited to have everybody here for a Tuesday night. So make sure that you guys are saying hello as you're checking in, and let's get ready to rock. So it is February still. Thank goodness. We haven't moved on to another month yet. Not sure how that hasn't happened yet. But we have our giveaway for this month, oil. We're going to talk about some oil tech tonight, so hold on tight. I know, it's so glamorous when we get to talk about oil. And then we are going to talk about the impact. And networkings are happening all week this week. I've already talked to 3 tonight, which is fun. I got one more tonight. We're going to talk about the resolution. We're going to talk about TDS, Mint 400, Easter Jeep Safari, Jeep Beach, maybe a garage option. We're going to talk about the East Coast Adventure, the West Coast Adventure, and oil. Yeah? All right. Everybody right now, hashtag commit 2020. You guys saw me post up today for our East Coast and West Coast adventures. We have fun things going on, but I need you guys to commit. I'm not going to go by myself, and honestly, I'm not going to go with 1 or 2 other people. Like, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do it well, and we're going to do it right, and we're going to have some fun. Yes? Yes. That's what I thought. Okay, so first on the list, oil tech. Well, maybe not oil tech, but hey, don't forget to go and sign up for oil for the giveaway for February. ladiesoffroadnetwork.com/giveaways. It'll link you in. You do need to be a member in order to sign up, and so you can go and grab it and log in and get your name on the list. The list is going very well. We still have 2 weeks left. Is that correct? Oh my gosh, next week we're giving this away. We have 1 week left for you guys to get your name in for $250 with oil. I understand that it's not blingy and glamorous as some of the other things are, but this is also extremely importante, right? And we're going to talk about oil in a minute and why it's so extremely importante. That's about as good as the Spanish as I'm getting, and I've had to use my Spanish skills quite a bit the last week or so. That's a whole different story. We're not going to go there tonight. All right, so 1 week to get everything in for your AMSOIL giveaway. That also means we only have 1 week for you guys to post in about your impacts. So remember, the impact is new for this year. We did it in January. It was awesome. And it's all about how somebody else in Ladies Offroad Network is potentially impacting you, or how you have impacted somebody. So talk about somebody else within our scene, or you know what? Talk nicely about yourself for a second. That's always a great thing. So very exciting to read about your guys' impact on each other and the impacts that you're making on other people. So please take a minute and do that while you're in there doing your giveaway login. If you haven't been logged into our internal chat yet to Wild Apricot, you just need to reset the password and then you should be good from there. All right, so that's the pro tip on how to make sure that that's working for you. Networking, it's happening all week. Here's my call schedule. It's a little crazy, but we got it to figure itself out. So we have networkings going on right now in Michigan, Florida, North Carolina, and Colorado. So everybody wave at them. Say hello, Michigan, Florida, North Carolina, and Colorado. Very fun. I've already talked to Michigan, Florida, and North Carolina, and Colorado has quite a group. I'm going to give them a ring right after we're done here. And then tomorrow night, we're in Virginia, Ohio, Illinois, Kentucky, Kansas, and Arizona. And then on Thursday is Ohio, Tennessee, New Mexico, Arizona, and Washington. So we have networking events going on all over the place, which is very exciting. And we also have all of our March ones getting lined up right now too. You can now sign up for April. Please get your April ones in so we can get that starting to log down and make sure we have all of the spaces filled that want to be filled. You now have 3 new videos that are also available, so hopefully you guys are able to watch those. The one is if you've never attended a networking event before, I tried to make it one that says, hey, this is what you can expect, so people aren't like questioning what it's all about. And then the second one is if you want to host a networking event, like kind of a little bit of a backdrop on here's how you can host one, and here's all the tools that I give you to be successful. And then the third one is a true how-to. So this one's in depth, it's gnarly, it's 11.5 minutes, and I encourage you to watch it at least 10 times. I know, that's kind of a joke, but not really either, not really a joke either. At least 1 to 3 to 5 to 10 times, because then you'll pick everything up that needs to be handled in that scene. So that is the networking. Thank you to Julie and Trisha and Laura and Lisa and Esther and Jody and Tamika and Arlie and Kathy and Camille and Marissa and Stephanie and Jamie and Andrea and Cheryl for hosting this week's networking events. I love it. All right, everybody, heart time. Throw some hearts for all the girls hosting the networking events across the country. Very cool. Okay, next on my list is the resolution. So the resolution, yeah. Anybody else drop off their resolutions for 2020? I swear it wasn't my fault. It's all Dave Cole's fault. But we're back on the gas again. We're getting the resolutions up and running again. I got another couple of them pretty well sorted out today. And some of the problem is they're the big ones now. Like they're the bigger challenging ones. So we're getting those lined up and we're getting them up online for you. You're going to start seeing them just kind of filter in throughout this week and into next week. But here's what I am doing is we're going to extend the opportunity for you to put pictures in for 2 weeks. I've heard a lot of ladies saying it's too cold to go in the garage. It's too cold to go outside, too cold to go outside. I get it. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing what's going on. So with that being said, and with my delay also, we're going to extend it 2 weeks. So the resolution will take pictures up through March 20th. That does not mean, ladies, this gives you the opportunity to procrastinate. That's not what I said. I said hustle and get it done. That's what you heard me say, right? Yeah. But on the ones that we have that are still new and coming out, that will give you a couple more weeks. So March 20th, pictures, that will take care of some cold weather and Charlene escaping her desk. I tell you, you just have to handcuff me in here if you want me to get all this stuff done. So you see how awesome it is when I sit still and then pew, off I go, right? Yeah, so there is that. And then we have events coming up. So as I'm just saying, yeah, handcuff me to my desk. Here's where I'm going to be and where you guys can join in with the fun. So next Sunday, no, not this Sunday, because this Sunday we're doing our last day of filming for the resolution on Saturday. So the next Sunday, which is March 1st, we'll be at TDS. So Terra del Sol is in California. Sorry, I'm looking at the calendar. It's right over there. So I will be at TDS all weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and love to hang out with you guys. I'll be at the BFG booth. And then on Sunday, we're going to run a hands-on class from 10 to 1. We're going to winch. We're actually going to hook up the tools. We'll be in the dirt, so it'll be a little bit different than how we do it in the setup of 4-wheel parts. But we will be doing the winch and some tire action. But the tire action is going to include the high lift action. So we're going to kind of combine those two together. It's going to be a lot of fun. Even if you've taken the class already, this is totally different. It's going to be a different style scene. So I still encourage you to do that. So if you're going to be at TDS in California, watch for that to come up and you'll have that opportunity. We have VIP events coming up. We have the Mint 400. We'll be getting that information out this week. We have Easter Jeep Safari and Jeep Beach. I outlined both of those today, and I'm very excited about those. We had some great VIP opportunities present themselves, so we're going to get that all sorted out. And I'm going to do some teaching at both of those events as well. So I'm just making sure that we have the proper opportunity for you guys to learn there also. Class format and pass-through format. So that'll be fun. I also have a garage, a ladies off-road garage opportunity coming around to where you guys can do some hands-on work. Do you guys like that idea? You want to come into the garage and work on things? Like, I really want some feedback on that. So I have some stuff that you can come and we'll provide everything and you come and do the work type of a deal. What do you guys think? Yes, no, maybe so. Like it. It's in Arizona, so it's warm here. That's the good news. We're not dealing with coldness. Give me some feedback on that for a minute. All right. And then today, you saw me post about our adventures. So we have the 2 adventures that are coming up. But I also have to do this, everybody, right now. Hashtag commit 2020. Hashtag commit 2020. Are you guys in? Right? Are you in? Are we not in? What are we doing as far as some of these events goes? The East Coast Adventure is on the chopping block. I'm not going to lie to you. It's on the chopping block. So this is the deal. We have 2 more weeks. Not even that. I don't even think I gave it 2 weeks. Maybe I did give it 2 weeks. March 7th. It's getting chopped. If we don't have, how many people did I say? Minimum of 10 vehicles. Okay? Minimum of 10 vehicles. That's where we want to be. So, the East Coast Adventure is the Smoky Mountains. Beautiful wildflowers. We're going to go through the Roaring Fork Motor Trail. Lots of stops. Tons of history and beauty. We're going to do some hiking. We're going to do some hands-on mining. And then we're going to drop into a off-road park of one of our groups and do some light trail riding. We're going to stay in hotels or Airbnbs or cabins every night. So it's not like it's camping trip. Camping trip. We have running water every night. And we just have a lot of great opportunity to see those great Smoky Mountains. It's not a hustle, dirt environment, heavy dirt, heavy, I don't know, what do you want to say? Like extreme rock crawling. Any off-road vehicle can make this and have fun with this. And then the trail riding that we're going to do at the off-road park will make do with the group that we have. All right. So we have drivers and we have co-drivers. And if you have a vehicle, great. You need to sign up as a driver. If you don't have a vehicle and you want one of those passenger seats, then you sign up as a co-driver. So our max on this one is 15 vehicles. Our min is 10 vehicles. So I'm really needing that to bump itself up or getting the chopping block. All right. I can provide things, and if you guys aren't interested in it, I'm totally okay with that. It's not hurting my feelings at all. We're just going to get through it, and we're going to move on so that everybody can focus on the stuff that they want to do. Okay? And I'm totally okay with that, just so everybody realizes it. And there's different reasons why, and I get it. I get it. So the next one, that is going to, East Coast is April 27th to May 1st. ladiesOffroadNetwork.com/2019-East-Adventure. There's your link. Then we have our West Coast Adventure. Our West Coast Adventure is not on the chopping block yet. It's actually doing pretty good. It's looking like it's going to go. So it is June 22nd to June 26th. We have a maximum of 10 vehicles, 20 people. Our min is 6 vehicles. We still need some in there, but we're doing much better than our East Coast one. We're going to start in Yellowstone. We're going to go through many state parks. So the Brannock State Park, which is Montana's first major gold discovery. It was in July 28th of 1862. We're going to go to some mining museums. We're going to tour some mines underground. There's another state park right here, the Elkhorn State Park, the Missouri Headwaters State Park, of course Yellowstone on top of it. And did I mention I rented a mansion? We get to stay in the mansion. I know, I want to stay in the mansion too, so people sign up. Yeah, that's what I got to say about that. All right. So that's what I have to say about that. So that's the East Coast Adventure and West Coast Adventures. If you're interested, that's awesome. If you're not interested, no stress. And we'll figure it out. Maybe that's not what we need to be doing this year, and maybe we need to be focusing on other things, which is totally okay with me, by the way. Totally okay with me. Cool. Any questions on our events? Anything? Are we doing all right? Because we are going to start rocking our way over into oil. The most exciting topic in the world is oil. How's everybody doing tonight? Everybody's quiet tonight. Where is everybody? Hello? Somebody talk to me. Everybody there? Hello? 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 All right. Yeah, the East Coast is right after Easter Jeep and Jeep Beach, which is on purpose for my travel schedule. Just not everybody does that. So that's where we're at with that. All right. Finally, we got some hellos. Hello. Hello. Yay. Hello. All right. Cindy's at a networking event. All right. So, here's the deal. Let's talk about oil. Isn't this the most fun topic? And it really is actually a great topic when you start thinking about it, because let's start with this. Okay, are you girls ready? Let's see who's been doing their resolutions. Let's see who's been doing their work. So, oil. Should oil rise? Should oil rise? Yes or no? Should oil rise? Yeah. So, the answer is, problem if your oil is rising, right? Oil does not create oil. Oil does not expand necessarily. So oil should not rise ever. If your oil level is rising on the dipstick, that means that things are coming into your engine and where the oil is, meaning water, right? Or something along those lines. So we definitely have a problem when our engine oil is rising. If our engine oil is burning, we also have a problem. Of course, our goal is for the engine oil to stay exactly the same all the time. So we don't want it to rise. Definitely don't want it to rise, because that means coolant or water or something is coming in. And if our engine oil is coming down, that also means that we're burning oil for some reason, and that means our engine is working extremely hard. All right? Cool. So, next question. Who knows the difference between synthetic oil and non-synthetic oil? Who read their oil thing? You can just raise your hand, or let's do the O face. If you know the difference between non-synthetic and synthetic oil. Who's with me on this? Everybody know the difference? Yes? We read the lesson? I know. So one of the things that we're doing with the resolution, when I go back to rework everything in March, once we're done creating, is I'm going to green screen some of the why, because I realized in the video that the why is not there. The why is just in the writing, and not everybody necessarily reads the writing, which is the whole point of video these days. So I need to bring that over. So we're going to green screen in and have people give you guys the opportunity to grab that why a little bit easier and talk more about oil. So yes, Esther grabbed it really well. With synthetic is basically built. Okay, so non-synthetic can also be called crude, which can also be called conventional, is basically, without a lot of words, oil that just comes up out of the ground, right? So of course it's processed and it's cleaned and a bunch of other things, and it's tested for weight and all these other scenarios. But for the most part, non-synthetic is real oil out of the ground and handled from that position. Synthetic oil, on the other hand, is made. It is built. It's produced. So it's a bunch of different additives, it's a bunch of different processes, it's a bunch of different things all added in together in order to make the perfect oil that's necessary. So synthetic oil, there's a lot more opportunity for it to create better fuel economy, better oil economy. You can change your oil in longer intervals because now with the ability for it to be created, they have, more additives that help this and that helps that. So your synthetic oil is created and your non-synthetic oil is produced from the ground. Good? Patty keeps saying it. Real versus created. I'm trying to put fancy words to it. That's basically what it is, right? Synthetic oil does cost about 2 to 4 times as much because it is created. On the flip side to that, the non-synthetic is less expensive, but you're going to be changing it more often, and it can cause more wear and tear to your engine potentially in the whole process. So just kind of understand that cost, more expensive sometimes does help versus being less expensive. Then there's also a synthetic blend. So you're hearing some of the companies now coming out with synthetic blends. And what that is they're trying to accommodate a cost structure as well. So now they're using the crude oil, they're adding some synthetic elements to it, and that's what they're considering a synthetic blend. So it's no different than taking your dirty laundry and putting your clean clothes with it. And did it really work? I don't know. But that's the concept. That's a very interesting concept. That concept totally came out of Saturday when I had to go to that event on Saturday night and I had no clean clothes. And so I had to go out to the motorhome and grab clean Ladies Offroad Network shirt that somehow, even though it was clean and in the closet, smelled like campfire. Right? Same thing. Synthetic blend. There's my example. Oh boy, the examples tonight are going to be interesting. All right. So can you clarify the info about switching from conventional to synthetic and back and forth? Yeah, so you can go back and forth between the two. Now that you understand what the two are, right? So it's synthetic where it's all fancy pants, and it's conventional where it's not fancy pants. It's no different than drinking tap water one day and bottled water the next day. So your tap water is going in and it's not necessarily cleaning the entire system, but then you drink your bottled water and it's going to dilute because you still have tap water in your system. And that's another way to really think about it as far as when we're playing with, you're going to hear us talk about this even more in the resolution here in this next week with the ones that we're releasing, is really you need to take your vehicle to a proper station in order to get all of the oil out because they can suck it out, versus you can only get so much oil out, and so now you're putting good oil on top of used oil that's already in there, so really all we're doing is diluting it. We're not really actually putting clean in. Okay, so no difference between synthetic going back and forth. You can go back and forth, but again, where's the why? right? We need to understand the why, and we also need to understand what the vehicle wants. So that's another big factor here, is what the vehicle wants and what your owner's manual calls for. There's sometimes where a engine or transmission, as we'll talk about transmissions or diffs, they need certain elements that is not available in a conventional oil, is not available in that crude oil, and so it does need that synthetic piece to it, especially as we're getting higher and higher engine capacities. And yeah, so always kind of understand what's happening with your engine and what your vehicle is recommending, and go with that first. Then you can always upgrade if you want. So if it says you can just use natural oil, well, that's fine. You can just use natural oil. If you upgrade to synthetic oil, then it means that you can have a longer lifespan before you have to change it. So catch-22, it just depends on what your vehicle needs. Always go back to that first. The numbers on the bottle. So the numbers on the bottle, as an example, is, I wrote an example down. So it's 15W30, right? Like that's a number on the bottle. What does the W stand for? What does the W stand for? Come on, you got this. What does that W stand for? We're gonna see who's done the reading. I know, I'm calling you out, aren't I, right now? You got this. What does the W on the bottle stand for? All right, well, some of you guys are getting it. So the W equals winter. All right, so the W equals winter. So what that actually means is it's a cold weather velocity. So 5W or 15W. So that's the flow of it at in the cold. So that's at 0 degrees Fahrenheit. So 5W will flow better than 15W will in the cold weather. All right, so that's the W. Then the 30 at the end is going to be how much viscosity the oil has as it's poured. And this is at the standard of 210 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, so 15W30 means at 0 degrees it has a 15 viscosity, and at 210 degrees it has a 30 viscosity. Yeah, back to just read your owner's manual and use what it means, right? Don't try and change anything. Anyways, so the 30 oil is actually going to flow more than a 50 weight oil in the heat. Make sense? So 30 weight is going to flow more, it's thinner, than a 50 weight oil will in the heat. So 15W30 means it has a 15 viscosity in the winter and a 30 viscosity in the summer. Yay? Yay? Anybody? Or are we just a bunch of O faces? Oh. Or where's this one? Oh my gosh. Do we have that one on there? Because that's the one that we really need right now. All right. Your engine is built to take a specific oil. If you put in an oil that is too heavy, then this oil isn't going to be able to move and lubricate fast enough to where you need it to be. And then the other is it can also waste energy, and it can be a challenge where it can keep it from transferring heat as well, right? So that's what oil does. Oil lubricates everything, it transfers heat throughout. So if you pick an oil that is too thick, then it's not going to be able to do all those things. If then again, on the flip side, you pick an oil that is too thin, then it's going to not be able to actually lubricate what you need it to lubricate. So even though there's oil in there, it's still grinding and causing challenges. And again, with the heat transfer and wasting energy as well. All right, oil. Synthetic versus non-synthetic. And then the numbers on there. Awesome. Okay, let's move on. We gotta find one for this. What's the other one other than the O face? What else do we have there? You guys gotta tell me. I can't see them. Okay, diff fluid. Diff fluid. So why in the world does diff fluid smell? We're going back to see who's reading the writing. Why in the world does diff fluid smell? So it's actually gear oil is what it is. And gear oil is built differently. It's a thicker oil and it has different components to it because it's built for gears. All right, so your engine oil is something where it's just in there and cycling and making sure that everything is lubricated. Your gear oil is also doing the same thing, but your gears inside your differential and the aggressive gears that are happening within the transmission need even more attention to what's happening as they are trying to connect, right? So this gear oil is even rated differently than what you guys have seen or what we just talked about with motor oil. So gear oil is an SAE 80 or 90, okay? So SAE stands for Society of Automotive Engineering. So they came up with this standard, and again, it's the 212 degrees. So it's the flow, the viscosity of the oil and how it flows at 212 degrees. There's a W involved sometimes. So on some gear oil, it's SAE 80. That means that it's weighted at the 212 degrees. What does the W stand for? W, W, W. Anybody? Anybody? Who's old enough to know Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Like my brother and I watch that all the time. So the W, if you have one that says SAE 70W, there's a W right after it, then that means that it's actually rated for winter. That's the lower temp. So that's at the 0 degrees Celsius or 0 degree Fahrenheit. All right. So there is a difference. You need to be paying attention to that. So like an SAE 80 and an SAE 80W are two totally different viscosities of oil. Right? Who would have thought? And who would have ever recognized that? So it's a little bit of a challenge. So again, back to making sure that we're paying attention to what our vehicle needs and not just grabbing something off the shelf. A little bit of a challenge. Now let me add even something a little more aggressive. Is if you have a vehicle that has like limited slip or traction control or some kind of a all-wheel four-wheel drive type scenario, a lot of times that that whole scene, as I kind of put in my writing, the magic happens in there for a lot of different reasons and in a lot of different ways. But one of the reasons and one of the ways that it's able to happen is because of the oil that is put in there. So there's actually some special oils sometimes that are needed for those differentials because they have what's called friction modifiers. So these friction modifiers are additives that help with this limited slip scenario, help with this full-time traction, help with this full-time all-wheel drive. So you're also wanting to watch for that too. So if there's a gear oil that has friction modifiers in it, or if you have a specific vehicle like that, you just need to make sure that you're paying attention to what's going into your vehicle and have those. A lot of times, if you don't have that correct fluid inside of the friction modified fluid inside of those lockers, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And that's just a reality. And you're not going to know it until you need it to work, right? One of those situations. So just some really somewhat basic but big dives into things. So oil, should it rise, should it not rise, synthetic versus non-synthetic, and blending, and how the numbers work, that the W means what? What does W mean? I want everybody to write it out this time. Y'all know what it means now. Come on. You're going to impress people with this one. And then we get into diff fluid, which is gear oil. And gear oil has the SAE, which is Society of Automotive Engineering standards. And so it has the weight, which there's also a W. What does W mean? Come on, ladies. I know you can do this. Everybody type it out. And then we have the additives for our limited slip and opportunities in that kind of situation, okay? Then we're not done yet. Then we have our automatic transmission fluids. So we went engine oil, differential gear oil. Now we have automatic transmission fluids, all right? Automatic transmission fluids. These are much thinner than gear oils a lot of time. It's also something where it's built in order to lube all of the gears within your transmission. So there's some kinds of detergents, there's some kinds of anti-rusting, anti-wear additives that are added into this ATF. Very interesting is the three main manufacturers of automobiles actually have the names for the automatic transmission fluid. So we hear about all the time. We hear about Dextron or Mercon or ATF plus 4. It's like, where did they come up with these names? I don't get it. I don't get it. Well, the Dextron 6 actually is the GM brand. So if you have a GM, more than likely your transmission is going to take that Dextron 6. The Mercon 5 is for the Ford brand. So if you have a Ford, you're using that transmission fluid. And then the ATF plus 4 is for the FCA Jeep line. So then you're going to be using that fluid. And then we just confuse everybody and say, oh yeah, and then there's a multi-brand, multi-line, multi-vehicle synthetic brand for transmission fluid, because they're like, what are all the generic oil people going to do? They can't put out a transmission fluid because the names are built around the different manufacturers. So that is, that's the long and the short of ATF, but it's a thinner gear oil. Each of these are different colors, right? So is the radiator fluid, the coolant is a different color. So everything has a little bit of a different color so you can understand, different smell so that you can understand what it smells like. And then this week and next week, we're going to get into brake fluid and clutch fluid. And here's something I learned, honestly. I didn't realize this about brake fluid, is the minute that you open that package, it's done for. You can't reuse it. You can't put it on the shelf and use it later. And you also don't want to check your brake fluid or your clutch fluid often, because it's a fluid that attracts moisture, and you do not want moisture in the systems at all. So I didn't have time to run out to the motorhome and grab my Parmesan that has not been opened yet. But you know how you open a package of Parmesan and then it's great until it's open and then air hits it and now Parmesan is on a countdown of how long it's going to last? That's the exact same thing as your brake fluid. And that's no different than if you're checking your brake fluid versus if you are just, if you're replacing it or putting more in. So be aware of that. It's pretty interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. Yeah. Fluids. See why you want $250 worth of fluids? Because look at all the different kinds there are. Yeah. So on here, there's other things too. There's boosters and octane fuel. There's different kinds of lubes, and there is grease, and there's antifreeze, and there's degreaser, and there's cleaners, and there's scrubbers, and there's all kinds of cool stuff that you can get from here, including the filters. So not only is this $250 of oil as part of the giveaway, but you also become a preferred customer for the year, which is a deep dive discount. So this is a really big deal. and very exciting that you guys have this opportunity, that we all have this opportunity to play around with AMSOIL and learn more about oil. I think if there's anything that we learned about more than like the hands-on portion of how to work on your vehicle during the resolution, it's really about all the different styles of oil. So I hope you guys have been geeking out on it as much as I geeked out on it of riding it, because I don't talk about it often, which is why it's hard for me to talk about it right now, but there's so much to oil and it's so exciting when we have a brand that truly understands and believes in making the right thing. So one of the pieces to AMSOIL is you also see it's the first in synthetics. So that's their tagline, and they believe in full synthetics. So they have full synthetic almost everything on their line, which is pretty interesting as well. Awesome. Okay, so well, you guys are going to get ready to ask me questions. So we have lots of questions. If you guys have questions, we talked about the oil tech giveaway, the impact, the networking all week. The resolution got extended to March 20th, which does not mean you get to procrastinate. It means you just have more time for there to be warm weather. TDS, we have hands-on Sunday, Mint 400 for Jeep and Jeep Beach, and a garage. We have all of those coming up. The East Coast Adventure is on the chopping block. You got a week and a half to tell me that you're coming, or it's getting chopped. And then the West Coast Adventure is doing pretty good. It probably won't hit the chopping block, but you need to commit 2020. And then oil. Should oil rise? Synthetic versus non-synthetic. The numbers of oil, diff fluid, gear oil, ATF, automatic transmission fluid. A lot of times too now in the transmission, you're not always just using ATF, you're using gear oil. So a lot of transmissions are different. Be aware of that too. And sometimes you're using ATF in other things as well, like in your diff or in your transfer case. So be aware of that. It's kind of cool. It is kind of cool. And the reason why gear oil stinks, I saw somebody say it, but I wasn't sure who said it, is sulfur. Sulfur is the reason why gear oil stinks. So I think I saw my mom on here earlier. My mom and I have a great story about sulfur where we heard that sulfur is like the cure-all to acne and skin and having great skin and everything. And so we found out at Christmas time, where we go at Christmas to do Mount Dance, that there's like this big sulfur area. And so you can actually go mine raw sulfur. And this is like the cure-all to skin. And so my mom and I, in all our awesomeness, decided that this was going to be a grand plan. And so we went and found this place, and we're out there with some other interesting people that are rock hunters or something. And so we grabbed some of this raw sulfur. And so we took it back to the camper, back to the Dumont, and mushed it up. And of course, this was like before Google, so it was like old Google, right? Old school Google. There wasn't so much that you could really learn on Google. And so we mashed it up or did whatever we were supposed to do. And then we put it all over my face. Oh my God, my face broke out so bad. It was horrible. It was awful. I stunk. I think I smelled like sulfur for like 3 days. It was the worst plan ever. Don't try it. Don't go with that example at home. But now it just makes me laugh every time I hear sulfur, hear the word sulfur, because like, oh yeah, there was that time. There's your awesome story. Bonnie brought up something very important. How about fluffy jackets? Yeah, fluffy jackets. So fluffy jackets are fluffy all the way through. Like this is the arm of the fluffy jacket. They are incredible, and they still smell like campfire even after you washed it. That's interesting. Maybe I need to do it. Oh my gosh. Mom still has it piled in the garden. That does not surprise me at all. Let's not have her bring it to convention and try it. All right. So this is the fluffy jacket. I already ordered, and I actually have right next to me all the ones that were ordered before. I think I ordered them on Friday night. So before Friday, your jackets are here already, and I'll be working on them when we do them all together. But if you have not ordered yours yet, now is the time. I left it open until Friday so that we had time for our networking events to let everybody know that they too can have a fluffy jacket. If you have not gotten your code, because I was not sitting at my desk for the last couple weeks, please message me so I can get you the code. I'm happy to do that for you. If you're a member, members get 20% off. If you're not a member, you get this great fluffy jacket. Everybody is going to have a little tag on their fluffy jacket that is going to look like this. So it has our 7 R's on it, and then on the back is a note from me that kind of helps everybody understand that when you're wearing a Ladies Off-Road Network jacket, you kind of have a responsibility, because people are going to ask you, what is Ladies Off-Road Network? So I gave you the words, I gave you the options, I gave you the words, I gave you everything that you need to be successful. And I'm encouraging you also to keep these, because somebody came up with a grand plan that after you have 5 of these or something, you get like another 10% off, because I'm down with that. All right, so that is fluffy jacket time. If you're asking, are you getting your fluffy jackets at networking this week? The answer is no, because they're not made. They won't be made for another 2 weeks. But they are here. The raw ones are here, not the fancy ones. You can have one without all kinds of cool stuff on it. So everybody else has washed their fluffy jackets. And yeah. All right, so what questions do we got? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Jessica is telling me, Mom, that 10% is what the sulfur in prescription should have been, not 100%. Yeah. Do you know of any tips or tricks to get an over-tightened oil filter cap off of 2014 without it breaking anything into the engine or breaking the housing? So one of the things that you want to do is put some oil around the edges, because sometimes it's just stuck. And just like there's probably a gasket or an O-ring or something right there. So get some oil, get some lubrication up into that zone to where maybe it can break itself loose. And that will definitely help. And then you just gotta go nice and easy. And something that I've learned for a long time, back to I don't have cool things here, is when you're using a screwdriver, when you're using a screwdriver or you're using a ratchet or something along those lines, always push down. All right, so when you're using a screwdriver, push in and then turn. So you want to push in and then turn. And then the other is, if you are using a ratchet, you'll always notice my hand, it's kind of at the end. A lot of people will do that. They'll push in and then turn it. And so that pushing actually helps with breaking the breaking it as well. So maybe not the best tips. Can't get it off to do that. Well, you can get some WD-40 down and around. I don't know. Maybe you'll need to send me some pictures so I can help you a little bit better. But also try pushing and then turning, because that's another way to do this. All right. No inventory. None. Especially on these. And I'm really glad, because not as many people ordered them as I thought they were going to. Ladies, why not? So I would have had a ton of fluffy jackets sitting here, and that would not have been a good thing. So that's why we're doing what we're doing. We're test driving a bunch of different options. We do have another long, I think next up is a long sleeve shirt, because we're going to Easter Jeep next. Still smells like campfire. All right. What other questions do we have? Lori is there. Yay, Lori, call me. I've been trying to call you. What else? What other questions you guys got? Wait, what time is it? Who knows what time it is? Is it 8 o'clock yet? What time is it? You guys are my clocks. I don't have any time. Hold on. Oh, okay, we're good. All right, we're good. We got another hour. Yes, so fluffy jackets are still on sale. LadiesOffroadNetwork.com/flash-sale. So that will always be our link right now for anything that's on sale as far as flash sales go. Flash-sale. And then, pro tip is it's $14, I think, for shipping. But you can add 2 more things before the shipping goes up. So you can add another shirt, you can add a hat, you can add jewelry, you can add whatever you need, whatever you want to add in there. And the shipping doesn't go up. So you guys can start playing the game a little bit on that too. Just saying. Cool. Any other questions? 1 week to get signed up for your giveaways. Yes, yes. 1 week to get your impacts in. Yes, yes. We have networking events going on around the country right now. So Michigan, Florida, North Carolina, I already talked to. Colorado, I'm talking to in an hour. That's why I had to check my time. Virginia, Ohio, Illinois, Kentucky, Kansas, and Arizona is tomorrow night. Ohio, Tennessee, New Mexico, Arizona, and Washington is the following night on Thursday. Man, something else I'd like to say is we had a really awesome first ever leadership call yesterday, last night. So I posted a really awful picture of us and all these little boxes. That was just the people that had their screen on. There's a lot of other ladies with us too. They just didn't have their screen on. And it was really cool. So we put together our very first project for the leadership team. So they're excited about that, I hope. And we talked about some other things that we just finished and kind of some stuff that's coming up ahead of time or coming forward down the pipe. So I think it's going to be a really cool thing and I'm really excited about it. If you still were on the fence about doing a leadership, you're welcome to join in today. I mean, you can still watch the replay. I was able to figure that out too. So we downloaded it and then I uploaded it to YouTube. So it's on our YouTube, but you can only get to it through a link that I have for you. And then we have a area on our in our wild apricot that'll just be for the leadership team, so that the leadership team can communicate right there too. So it's pretty exciting. Fluffy jackets? Anybody want one? This is your week. All right. I just want to go take a nap. Can you tell? What do we got? Any questions? Anybody got any questions? Or you just want to cuddle with me in my fluffy jacket? Because it's super fluffy. I'm just saying. It's totally worth it. This thing took on King of the Hammers like you wouldn't believe. And it's cold at King of the Hammers. No questions? Are we good then? Everybody want to say goodbye? Because we can say goodbye. I'm okay with saying goodbye. Alright. Let's say goodbye, and I will say goodbye by saying that these are the locations for the March networking events. And if your location did not come up, make sure you get it to me tonight. Arizona, Florida, this is in alphabetical order. Arizona, 2 in Arizona, 2 in Florida, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Michigan, North Carolina, New Mexico. We have 3 in Ohio, but one's kind of Michigan, Utah, and Washington. All right, so nice work there. I have 1 or 2 that I know I'm expecting in tonight. If your area did not come in, let me know. Yeah, Lori, there is a discount code. I'll get that to you tonight. I'll pop it back up onto your email. All right. All right, everybody else great? Everybody else is great. So say goodbye. Say goodbye. Goodbye. I don't know what else to say. I'm just going to snuggle with my fluffy jacket while you guys say goodbye. Is this weird? Just a little bit? Is it just a little weird? Alright. And if you need any help getting your oil filter off, just let me know. But try the pressing, try putting the power into down onto the filter and then moving it. Slow, very slow. Okay, but power and move. Alright. You can break just about any nut bolt loose that way if you're pushing in. It's kind of like riding a dirt bike. You push, you don't pull. Push, push. Alright. I love it. Alright. We'll talk to you guys later. And yes, Lori, call me now. Alright. Instagram just went bye-bye. Bye. I'm coming for your button right now. You're getting finished. Alright. We'll see you guys later. Have a good night. We'll see you at your networking event.